Hello and welcome back to another video. And in today's video, we're going to draw some rocks. Yeah. A pile of rocks. Alright, let's get into drawing this video, or drawing the rocks. Why are we drawing rocks, you may ask? And that is a perfectly good question. So we're going to start with getting the general outline of the rocks first before I start, like, adding details into them, I think. I have a picture of a pile of rocks on my computer, so that's what we're using as a reference. And, yeah. I don't have anything else to say. I'm just going to draw a pile of rocks. I literally just Googled pile of rocks and I took the first picture and that's what I'm drawing. So, yep. I just wanted to see if I could draw a pile of rocks, you know? Why wouldn't you want to draw a pile of rocks? What's wrong with a pile of rocks? Isn't that a beautiful rock that will hopefully look better when I add more detail to it? But we're going to move on to the second rock so that we can just put it off and then not want to fix any of the rocks when there's like a bunch of them. Isn't that what you want to do? Put it off until there's so much that you don't want to do it at all? That sounds like a great idea to me. It's friggin'. Why did I start with these two? I don't know. This is also a horrible pile of rocks to be using as a reference. These rocks are horrible. They're just bad rocks. It's like horrible rocks. Not easy to draw at all. Because I don't know how to draw a rock very well. Or at least like a regular one. It'll be fine though. We can figure it out. How are we gonna figure it out? I don't know, just trial and error. We're just gonna draw a lot of stuff. And if it don't work out, it don't work out. If it works out, amazing. Also, this rock right here is completely my imagination. I am so creative. Wow, an amazing rock. Straight from my imagination. No reference. I'm just like taking a glance at the reference and then just drawing what I think that shape would look like. That's probably not the best way to go about this. I should probably have, like, if I was going to do this, stared at the reference for a long time, realizing what the shapes of the reference are and stuff like that, but who's got time for that? I just Googled pile of rocks and started the video. Who's got time to actually look at what they're drawing? I'll just look at a rock and then just start sketching away with what I think the shape would look like. Boom, what beautiful rocks these are. It smells like food. Someone's cooking food. I hope it's for me. Not really, I'm pretty sure. Didn't I like just eat? Oh, I ate multiple hours ago. Well, time flies by when you're sitting here doing absolutely nothing on the carpet, zoning out. Rocks. Beautiful rock. What a beautiful rock. I just got a Discord message and you're gonna hear me read it aloud. Maybe. It's pretty rare, blah, blah. Yes, it is hot out. Awesome, cool. I'm gonna actually pause this for a second. Okie dokie, I sure hope I started that video back up. Otherwise, I could have some problems with not having a fucking video to go up tomorrow. Except for the thing of, if that just happened, I would just post what I had anyways, because who cares if it's an incomplete video? I post one of these every day, it's fine. Not all of them are gonna be perfect or amazing or good in the slightest. But, you know, who cares? The viewer does. Does it make it... Is it better to watch this video if you know that I put absolutely the bare minimum effort into making these? Does that make watching it better? I don't edit these, I don't plan ahead for the recordings. I just record drawing it. And I speed up maybe a time lapse of the tiny linies, and that's it. Some people like these videos. I myself wouldn't. I've seen many times on like how to be successful on YouTube or whatever. Record what you like. Do what you like. Or, no, it's like, not just do what you like. It's make content you would watch. Would I watch this content that I am currently creating? Absolutely not in the frickin' slightest. I do not like watching videos of people draw. Too boring. It'd be fine if I was like second, or like putting it on my second monitor or playing it in the background or something. That'd be fine. I would watch it then, but I'll probably just put on like a Minecraft 100-day challenge for that. You know, put something a little more interesting on. But, you know, some people like watching these videos. I just don't like watching people draw. I think it's boring to watch. I enjoy drawing myself, but don't like watching people do it. I do like time lapses though. I like time lapses of art, just not the slow process, because, well, it is slow. Art is slow, and I'm impatient. These rocks are looking okay. They're not the best rocks I've ever seen, but, you know, they're looking okay for not drawing rocks. Not really being a rock drawing person. Although I do need to learn how to draw rocks better, because I feel like a rock background is a pretty, or like mountain background is a pretty standard background. So I need to be able to draw that, and with rocks breaking, I need to be able to draw the shrapnel and like broken off parts of rocks. Because the end goal here is to do animation. I'm just not that good at drawing yet. And I think dynamic backgrounds are definitely the best, so I definitely need to also practice just drawing more backgrounds. But that... that's stupid. We're not going to do that because that's annoying. I think I'm just going to put one more rock on the top of this. Maybe one more right here too. And then we'll go ahead and call it done. Also, I stopped following that reference a little bit ago. I mean, I glance at it occasionally, but I'm not really using it. I'm kind of just drawing boxes, but like bad boxes. Because what is a rock but a bad box? Alright, and maybe we just add a small little weirdly shaped rock up here. Maybe... well, I made it a weird shape, so I don't know how to make it 3D. Beautiful. We'll pretend like that looks good. Alright. Be right back. Alright, I'm back. How long's this been? I don't want to make it too long. Alright, 9 minutes. Awesome, cool. We got like another 10 minutes till I cut to the time lapse. Because I'm going to just do that now. Once it exceeds like the 20-ish minute mark, unless I'm almost done, it's getting time lapsed. The rest of it. Because I still need them to be watchable length. No one's going to click on like an hour-long video of someone they don't know and watch it. Oh, that reminds me, it's time for me to say the thing that all YouTubers say always, and some people don't like it and think it's really annoying. Over 80% of you are not subscribed. I can't even say it without laughing. That is true, though. Over 80% of you are not subscribed, so press the button. Do it now. Alright, that is all. Also like or something. I don't know. Pretty sure there were some statistics that came out that if you ask your the people watching the videos to like and subscribe, you'll actually get better results if you just ask them to do one thing. If you just ask them to like or just ask them to subscribe, you get much better results. Which makes sense. Asking someone to do one thing seems a lot easier than asking someone to do many things. Especially considering that person is probably a lazy, like 14-year-old or something on the internet. Except for that probably isn't the case for this, because actually I found out that the majority of my viewers are fucking over 25 to 34. Over 50% of you. Why? Why are you that old? And yes, that was, that people didn't live that long ago. Yet this rock is looking so amazing, if I do say so myself. It is looking, just that's the best rock I've ever seen in my life. I love him. We shall dub him Rahulio. Rahulio the Rock. Why is his name Rahulio? I don't know. Is that not a fitting name for a rock? An exquisite rock nonetheless. What a beautiful rock that one is. We shall name him Mini, because he is small. We shall make another one next to Mini, and we shall name that one Tiny, to give Mini a small friend. We must give him friends, because unlike you, he has them. Gotta make sure I call out everyone for not having friends. It's like the rules, pretty sure. Pretty sure that's one of the rules of like YouTube or something. It's like in their guidelines or something. It's like, gotta make sure to always say your viewers don't have any friends. Alright. What a beautifully curved rock. Why do you curve like that, sir? You should not curve like that. You should curve more jagged, like how a rock would curve. But you know, whatever. You are just a rock, so it's fine. You don't have feelings, so I don't care if you're not looking like you want to. If you're not up to your standards. You're a rock. You don't get an opinion. It's beautiful. These rocks are looking worse than their actual roughly sketched counterparts. You want to know why they look worse than the roughly sketched counterparts, though? Which this might be happening to your drawings. The one time I'm ever going to give advice on drawing. It's because you didn't define your lines well enough. If you don't define your lines well enough in the sketch, then when you try to turn it into, like if you were drawing character, try to turn it into line art, and you did like a very messy sketch and try to pick one of those lines, it's not going to look good. Well, it can. You can get away with it, but it's not always going to work because of, well, it's not always going to work. If you have a mess and you try to, like, I don't know, if you have a mess and you try to just like organize it, by pushing it into a pile, it's not always going to make a neat mess. I have no idea what I'm trying to think of. I was trying to think of like an analogy, but what the fuck am I trying to think of analogies for? I don't know analogies. That's a horrible rock. Here's an analogy. Or is analogy even the right word? I have no idea. When you take a deck of cards and you shuffle up the cards and you try to push them all like this together, or you like mix them all up, push them like this. Some of them are going to end up this way and some are going to end up that way. And it's not always going to look right. Yeah, I forgot why I was originally even actually trying to explain all this, so there's your rare piece of advice. That's why I don't give advice in these videos, because I get distracted and forget what I was even talking about. Alrighty, this is looking quite exquisite. And you know why this is looking quite exquisite? Because I said so. If you think it's going to look amazing, or if you just say it's going to and you just like it for what it is, then it can look better than if you're super judgy. But you still need to be super judgy on your own art, though. You can't just think it looks amazing and have shit art. You gotta think it looks amazing and have good art. Except for that doesn't actually matter. You can have good art, but it's not amazing. I have no idea what I'm talking about. That line just doesn't need to be there, but I'm just gonna keep it there. Whenever I judge my own art, I always try to make sure that I say like one good thing about the drawing that I did and one bad thing, as of like one thing I really like and one thing that I don't like about it. If I think, oh wow, this drawing's like perfect, I gotta think of, well, I could have done the ears better or whatever, something like that. Or like, oh wow, I really like this background. Well, there's some of these lines over here just don't make any sense. Or it's something like that. I like to do that because, well, then I can still, you know, like my drawings, but I can also still see what's wrong with my drawings. Beautifully perspectived mess. I can't even lie. It looks like a mess. Alright, here's our beautiful rocks that we messed up many times. We're going to fill in the black areas as of the areas where there's no connections and shit. And then go ahead and get under there too. I would add tiny linies, but it's not good enough for me to add tiny linies, and adding the tiny, I'm not going to be able to make it amazingly better by adding tiny linies. So we're not going to. Alright, there's our shitty pile of rocks that we have. We could add some like cracks and shit to the rocks, just like I was trying to add a big crack there, but that kind of just looks bad, so we're gonna erase it. Because I was trying to add a crack in a perspective that doesn't fit there. Alright. You know, just fill the big cracks in that took chunks out of them. There we go. Alright, and add a crack there. Let's go ahead and add a crack here, except we're going to make it a cut. That doesn't really work yet again. You know, it could make it work though if I were to actually plan it ahead. Like this, and then make it jagged. I have no idea what I'm doing. Let's go ahead and slash that corner. Let's do the same with this one. Let's go ahead and add some little bits of rocks, you know. Maybe that corner that fell off can be right here. And add a little bit of rubble right here, just some rock. Go ahead and just add a crack right there. And I think we're about good with the cracks and the cuts on our rock. Alright, go ahead and go like that, and we can just cut this whole part off. And go ahead and chuck it right here. Alright, just add a bunch of lines. And some cracks right there. And right there. Perfect. Good enough. Alright, here's our shitty drawing of a pile of rocks. I think it looks good enough. It's a bit of a mess, but I also didn't plan ahead. But it still looks pretty decent. Could have done the rocks better. I like the cracks. Yep. Bye-bye. Whoa. Bye. Subscribe.